Hi there. I'm just going to do a video, and I was watching, excuse me, the boxing fight this morning. It was on about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. The second fight. Now I said this in my last video I made, but I was just looking up some stuff of the winner, which was Tyson Fury, on the internet, and years ago, a couple of years ago, he said that that women should be on their backs and in the kitchen and on their backs. And, he said other things as well. And, what I'm getting at is that, people talk about, especially in Britain, that we live in a free society. That's not a very free society if someone can't give their opinion. Now, I don't agree with everything that he said, but I understand that if we're going to try to tell ourselves that we're living in a free society, if we want that, then we have to understand, we have to be open to the opposite viewpoint to our own, right? Because then you're not going to have two birds like in this picture flying along in harmony with one another, because they're going to have opposite opinions. That's always going to happen, right? So people have to not agree with it, but understand that your opinion is, there's billions more opinions than that on this planet. And so this is a problem people have got. And it shows you how the system controls people. What they do is they get you to believe in this belief system on this or this way, and then if anyone says the opposite of that, like David Icke, for example, David Icke wasn't saying anything bad about women or anything of the level of Tyson Fury, but he came out in 1991 and was saying things that was opposite the what everyone was programmed to be with, and this same kind of situation. And this I just thought this was an important thing to talk about, because freedom, that's what it's all about, really, freedom. And if I'm not going to live my life, I say this to people all the time. I say it to my mum all the time, that I won't live my life in fear of speaking what I think, what I believe in. Because what kind of life is that? You can't even say anything about Jewish people. They've got a word for it, but or a label they've got for it, and you can't say a word. You can't say anything about them. I mean, this is crazy. This is insane. For to not be allowed to state and give an opinion about something is craziness. That is not freedom at all. And yet, when we get to the time of year and we celebrate the soldiers who died in wars, we talk about in Britain how we're free in Britain because of soldiers killing people. But where's the freedom they're all talking about? When a boxer, says his opinion, okay, to many it might be a moronic opinion. I think it's a moronic opinion, but that doesn't mean that I think he shouldn't say it. It means that it's just an opposite opinion to mine. You see what I mean? And that's what we've got. We've got to start being more open-minded and understand that there are billions of possibilities and opinions on planet Earth. And that being closed-minded, being respectful to women, I believe in that, but that's one possibility. Someone believing in the opposite to that, that's another possibility. But we've got to be more open-minded. Very important, that, because only through being more open-minded will we have harmony. That doesn't mean that we should just stand by and allow things, but we can discuss things more if we're open-minded. It's not easy. What I'm actually talking about here is a thing that is not easy. It means that you have to go within your heart. It's called heart-based living, and this is in science now, and this is what happened to me, this unexpected spiritual awakening. I start going within my heart all of a sudden, and because you can, once you start opening your heart, you can not. I'm not telling you to just accept things, but you can be more open-minded and open-hearted to other viewpoints. You know what I mean? Because when someone says someone you don't like, that's because they've triggered you because of your own beliefs. Right? So what it is like, it's like you're in this perceptual bubble, this box, and anything that's outside of that is not, you're not going to accept it. And that is really a reflection of how programmed someone is. So when you get that feeling, annoyance, when someone says something completely that you're not accepting, that's how much of a perceptual bubble you're living in. And that other person is got a different viewpoint. But like I've been saying all along this video, that the only solution is to realize that we're in a perceptual bubble. This is what happened to me in the spiritual awakening. When you have a spiritual awakening, it's like David Icke says, the perceptual bubble bursts. And you realize that there's infinite ways to look at things. There's not a set way. There's not an explanation, really. When you really meditate upon it, there's not a reason for anything. It just is. And that's it. It just is. And so I just thought that was an important thing to talk about. The fact that people should be more open-minded, because it'll make you feel better. When you're closed-minded and someone says, and you're easy to annoy, it just pisses you off. It just annoys you. When you're more open-minded, you won't react so much. And this is what I practice all the time. When I'm around people that aren't more awake, or they're people that are closed-minded, I practice. What I do is I'm noticing my triggers, and I'm not reacting. I'm practice all the time. And as you're doing this, you're learning that you can accept more, because nothing's annoying you. Because you realise then it was your perceptual mind, the mind controlling, that was making you react like that. We're born into the world and we're told what to believe in and what not to believe in. And this is very important, because what we want is freedom. That's the real end goal or life goal for everybody, isn't it? To have freedom and to be able to say your opinion without fear of someone getting annoyed. You know what I'm saying? And someone can say something completely outrageous and you don't have to flinch. That is the thing, you don't have to get annoyed by it. That's a choice that you're getting annoyed by it. It's to do with your perceptions. But once you start to work and manipulate your perceptions, you can start to work on, in meditation, your triggers, and then you won't get triggered so much. When you're triggered, that's an unhealed part manifested itself. So at that moment, what I do is basically go within and meditate upon that feeling. And the more and more you do this, the less you'll react to things. Because this is the only thing that is going to bring peace and freedom on any planet, is by actually being more harmonious with each other. It's not easy. It means that you got to work and work and work every second of every day. You got to do a lot of healing. You got to do a lot of meditation. You got to pretty much make healing and meditation and spiritual ascension your life. But the goal is to be more happier within yourself. And then once everyone does that, you've got a really harmonious planet. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a case of one choosing, instead of reacting to the triggers, meditating when the triggers happen. And I just thought this was a very important thing to talk about. And I think I'm just going to leave it there. And if you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls to divine order and divine timing. You are infinity. You are God. Thank you for watching.